Stephen, a reaction you demanded from your players from Saturday. Do you feel we got that tonight?
I think we got a reaction in terms of the result. You know, it's important that we bounce back after the disappointment on Saturday. Not an easy place to come, but we got the win in the end. But we were made to work very, very hard for it. I don't know if the scoreline is an accurate reflection on the game. I think it's 5-1's probably a little bit harsh on there. But you know, we started the game really well and got off to a great start. Scored a goal. It looked in complete control of the game, and then they kind of worked their way back into the game. I'd like to look at it back, but I'm adamant that the ball was out on the far side. But we need to defend that situation better, and then equally, we need to match Ben Kelly's running into the box. He's unmarked and he's got plenty of time to pick his spot. So, and that gave them a huge lift because they weren't in the game up until that point, and it gave them a lift, and it became a little bit scrappy, which I didn't want, and we stopped playing, and the game became very, very frantic, which I felt suited Nairn. And we got a goal just before half time, which was important for us, which was really well worked from Tom Kelly, great ball, and then a good finish from Jordan. And then the message at half time was just to keep our composure and keep working the ball, and we were confident that more opportunities would open up, which they did, but equally we still looked quite susceptible to the break. Although they didn't score, they'll probably be looking back at that thinking they could have capitalised on a couple of opportunities. But here, we got the job done, which was important. Tonight was always about just getting the result, and we always ask that of the players when we suffer a defeat, is to respond in the right manner and get a win, which we've done. So I'm happy about that. There's a few things that we need to look at and do a bit better in preparation for Saturday, but happy to get through.
Yeah, good first half performance just towards the end, kind of edging us into the break. What was the kind of words at half time? Because the players, seemed more composed, and then I think decision making also improved with Tony Dingwall landing in the right place for two of his goals.
Yeah, well, we tweaked it a little bit towards the kind of last 25 minutes of the game and pushed Shane up and pushed Tony into his more natural position, because we are asking Tony to play out of position in a more kind of holding defensive role, which isn't his natural game, and we actually don't want Tony to be picking the ball up in our own half, but just the way where we are with personnel at the moment. But he found himself in some nice areas and finished them really well, and then capped off a good performance with a hat-trick and a well-taken penalty. So I think, so far this season out with Fraserburgh, we've always looked dangerous going forward, and we will always create opportunities. I just think at times we need to be thinking a little bit more, defensively about how we can be more kind of solid as a unit, not just as a back four or a back five. So yeah, lots of pleasing elements, but again, some things that we need to do better.
Another game where you're able to make use of most of your bench. It must be good just with the games coming thick and fast. We're playing Tuesday, Saturday for the past couple of months now. Must be good just to keep the voice fresh for any changes that might happen.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of having quality on the bench, that they can be called upon. August is always a tough month for us because we're playing Saturday then midweek, which is taxing on the players, and it's important that we can add freshness. I thought Gaz did really well when he came on. I thought Aidan made some nice runs and was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. And then obviously we've given Rambo and Dan some minutes towards the end. So yeah, good to get everyone on the park. Good that we've not picked up any injuries that I'm not unaware of, because it seems to be every game so far this season we're picking up niggles and picking up knocks. So we don't have a big squad, and that's not how we operate. We never have a big squad, but it's good that the boys that were on the bench managed to come on and contribute.